Among the comments under videos of controversies in the K-pop sphere, you may find a common sentiment that keeps popping up, especially when it's about a racial or cultural offense. Quote, "Kiss of Life was canceled. Why aren't you canceling? Insert controversial idol of the week." Today, I want to break down why Kiss of Life was the outlier, not the rule, and the perfect storm that allowed for the downfall of one of the only K-pop groups to escape new Gudam. Before we start, I want to make some things clear. 1. I am a white American. I'm as white as you can be. I literally look like I glow when I walk into a beam of sunlight. This video is not meant to step on any toes of people of color K-pop fans or to speak for them. If you are a person of color and take offense to anything I say or feel that I have gotten something wrong, please feel free to correct me without the fear of me or any other person in the comments responding negatively. This is my first commentary video, and if it does even slightly well, I will be managing the fuck out of the comments section. 2. This is not a video breaking down the controversies surrounding All Day Project or the racism issue in K-pop. Anything I say can be applied to any fandom in the world, music-related or not. And finally, 3. I do not support either group and will never support Kiss of Life again. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's start. For those of you who may live under a rock and are unaware, Kiss of Life is a 4-member group consisting of 2 American members, Julie and Belle, a Thai member, Natty, and a Korean member, Hanul. They make music reminiscent of 90s, early 2000s music with rap elements. They debuted on July 5, 2023, and remained under the radar until their biggest drops, Midas Touch and Igloo. These songs skyrocketed their fame outside of South Korea and got them out of new Gudam almost overnight. The problem? Repeated racist controversies. To begin with, American member Julie from Hawaii said the N-word. If you're about to head to the comments to defend or downplay her actions, I'd like to invite you to do some research on the history of the word and the oppression of Black Americans. Then you'll realize it is that serious. In the US, the N-word is taken very seriously when said by a non-Black person. As an American, Julie should know better. It doesn't matter that she did it as a trainee and under the instruction of her company. Not having a backbone to stand up for doing the right thing does not give you a pass. The echoes of slavery and the Jim Crow era are still felt today. And do you want to know what came out of people's mouths while committing atrocities to these innocent people, like cutting off limbs, whipping, raping, and hanging people from trees? The N-word. People like to pretend that it's just a word, but they fail to realize that by using that word, you're not only dehumanizing a person to such an extent, but you're invoking the violence of then and now. That is why it will never be acceptable for that word to come out of anyone else's mouth, and the same goes for every other slur. You don't understand the suffering attached to it, and if you do, you simply don't care to respect it. The second controversy was, of course, the live stream. The live stream was intended to celebrate the controversial member Julie's birthday. We could expect some level of insanity from her, but this truly was on another level. The members dressed in stereotypical Black American clothing, even going so far as to wear partial cornrows, and speaking in a way that mocks Black Americans, as well as giving each other offensive nicknames for the duration of the uncomfortable live stream. The whole thing had the feel of a minstrel show. There was a blatant disregard for the sanctity of culture, and appreciation was nowhere to be seen. When it's the other way around, a Black person mocking Asian culture, every K-pop fan and idol recognizes how harmful and offensive it is, but I guess Black people just don't deserve the same level of care and consideration. The controversy blew up, honestly, probably larger than either of their highly successful songs. They faced real consequences like being dropped from KCON 2025. But you know who wasn't? Enter Tarzzan and All Day Project. Disclaimer, I'm not calling him that fuck-ass name throughout this video. I refuse. His birth name is Joanne. If he can't respect an entire culture and group of people, then I won't respect his racist-ass stage name. Yeah, let's talk about that first. Do you know what animal people love to compare Black people to? If you answered gorillas and monkeys, you would be correct. The walking culture vulture and wannabe black kid decided to pick a name of a beloved character who grew up with monkeys and apes and acted like one. Yeah. Let that sink in for a minute. Let's quickly run through the controversies. Cornrows, N-word, allegedly. AAVE appropriation, sagging pants, flipping off the camera. Pretty sure that's it. So arguably worse in terms of quantity, but is it on the same level of offensive compared to Kiss of Life's livestream? It honestly doesn't matter. Those who do or say racist things deserve consequences. But why hasn't All Day Project faced any? TLDR, it's because of who makes up the fandoms. Let's delve deeper, shall we? It is a well-known fact that Kiss of Life's core audience was outside of Korea. That is where they saw the bulk of their success prior to their breakout. Their first tour ever was sold out in the US. With 3 foreign members, Kiss of Life was destined to be popular in the US and Thailand. Exact statistics on sales and streams per country aren't available, but by scrolling through tweets about the group, TikTok videos, or even looking through their comment sections, you will find an overwhelmingly English-speaking audience. This, unknowingly, would lead to their downfall. Outside of the US, racism towards black people may be taken lightly, but it's a whole other ballgame here in the States. The majority of their fandom was American. Even the non-black fans were going to have a problem with what they did. A lot of sensible people left after the N-word controversy, myself included. But the ones left made it clear to Kiss of Life that they were on thin ice. The video was an older one, and people were willing to give Julie the benefit of doubt. But they screwed it up. As a result, the foreign fandom imploded. The first apology went unaccepted and made things worse. Consequences were dealt. The second apology, a solo one via live stream from Julie, was made 2 days before their comeback after the controversy. It became clear that no matter how sincere she may have sounded, to those who were already out the door, this was a desperate attempt to save their crumbling careers. The fandom decided they were done and abandoned their group. Now opportunities fall through and their songs struggle to chart or win. All Day Project, on the other hand, had a very different experience with building their fandom. The first information released to the public about the group were their names and image. Guess who stood out the most? Any fans with a brain immediately clocked out and dipped as soon as they saw him. A 100% Korean man wearing cornrows with a racially offensive name? No thank you. The ones who stuck around didn't care. They saw a frankly average-looking face in terms of idol standards, and decided he was attractive enough to abandon their morals. The man isn't even that good at dancing or rapping, or should I say mans. When one idol of a group does something offensive, the rest of the group can still be considered safe and okay to stan. I've seen people say positive things about the other members while still having a problem with Chaewon. I'll even do it now. Youngseo's vocal color is beautiful and so are her visuals. The issue with the group is that people who have a problem with him have to listen to his shitty rapping while he yells entirely too loud and see those cornrows that only black people look good with. The point is, you cannot cancel someone who has such a dedicated fandom. The ones outside of the All Day Project fandom, mostly foreigners, cannot do anything to hold him accountable because we have no power. Think of it this way. In a democracy, a given population will elect officials to represent them in a governmental body. If you happen to be in a minority political party, you will not get anything done the way you see fit, because you don't have the votes. You don't even have a representative in the building, speaking and acting on your behalf. That is why he is practically untouchable. Now, it is possible that somewhere down the line, he will do something so reprehensible even to his core Korean audience that he will finally experience some sort of backlash that will make him change. I'm thinking more along the lines of the middle finger controversy, because me personally, I don't see anything wrong with that, but Koreans are acting like he stabbed the man. Anti-blackness is ingrained in K-pop whether we like it or not. It's so present that even locals associate K-pop as a whole with cultural appropriation and racism. It's pretty bad that filming in a church gets you more backlash than saying a slur. Until he does something to upset the Koreans, he will be fine. Should we continue talking about it? Yes, of course. Those who are uninformed may end up accidentally joining the fandom, and he should be reminded at every turn how bad his actions are. Shane Dawson continues to get millions of views because his audience is filled with people who don't have a problem with anything he did. Donald Trump continues to have supporters because his voters are just as batshit insane as he is. Billionaires will get away with killing the planet because the ones who can hold them accountable are on their side. It's all a game of loyalty. Build a strong enough support system that reflects your values, and nothing will ever be able to ruin your career or land you in jail. But have they truly been canceled? No, not when it comes to the numbers. In total, Kiss of Life made about the same Korean sales for their latest album than their two most popular, Midas Touch and Lose Yourself, selling just over 100,000 and 120,000 copies in South Korea respectively. Their latest sold just over 100,000 in South Korea. Sure, that's a slight dip from Lose Yourself, but they're still above Midas Touch. They appeared on the TV show K-Popped, along with successful groups like Ateez. They may not get the same amount of views on YouTube, but they certainly are not struggling with monetary success. It's as I said, the ones who remain don't care what they do. They were ready to accept those shitty apologies before they even came out. Nobody is obligated to accept an apology. I feel like a lot of these idols do it purely to save face. If your immediate reaction to a person having a problem with your fave is to bring up the apology, then congrats, you missed the purpose of an apology. It doesn't absolve you of any wrongdoing, and it doesn't undo the damage. You have to earn back the support and trust of those you hurt. So far, Kiss of Life has not made any strides to win them back. The apology was enough for some, but let's be honest, they were going to continue supporting them regardless. And just a reminder to not accept apologies that weren't made towards you, or to speak for everyone by saying we accept it. If you actually watch this, thank you. I don't know if I'll actually make them, but I do have some other ideas on videos about racism in K-pop if you guys want to stick around for those. As I said in the beginning, feel free to correct me on anything or suggest topics in the comments. Bye.